Hi. Good morning. I'm hoping you're having a great start to the day. What's going on? Share with the class. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. We're just gonna wait for a couple more people to join in, and then we're gonna start getting into the program, all right? I put too much lemon. Alright, so guys, let's get this party started. Today we are going to be discussing a couple things. First things first, I love it when you guys are able to see the before and afters, but we are going to be discussing more in detail HD lipo by the same doctor, Dr. McDaniel. We're going to go over some other doctors as well because we have over 10 here, some deals and specials towards the end. But most importantly, if you're seeing me for the first time, please write new in the comments. That way I know how much information to give you guys, okay? And for the most part, like I said, today we are going to be discussing this particular procedure, which is the HD Lipo 360. We're going to go over a lot of details about it. So Red, welcome. Red is new. Is Red the only newbie that we have in the class today? Please let me know in the comments. And then most importantly, like I said, we are going to be discussing those before and afters because I do want to show you guys. And Red, thank you so much for the follow. And for anybody else who has not already followed us, guys, please take full advantage and give us that follow, because sometimes I do have to jump off of the live randomly because of whatever reason, right? Technical difficulties usually. But I do want you guys to be able to find us again. So please give us that follow if you're not already following. All right, so once we then go over the before and afters, I do want to then show you guys as well where you can get additional information in terms of what is J plasma, because a lot of the times we have many of you that come in here and start discussing perhaps needing a tummy tuck, when in reality perhaps all you need is the lipo and the J plasma, okay? And then once we go over that, we are going to touch on the difference between regular lipo 360 and then lipo 360 with ab edging, okay? I do want you guys to be able to visually see that difference. And then as I mentioned, we have over 10 doctors here. So I will be showing you guys some other doctors' work as well. So Mackenzie, thank you so much for the follow. Right, and Mackenzie, since you guys are newbies here, where are you joining from? Please let me know in the comments. And again, guys, if anybody is new here, please write new in the comments. And Mackenzie says, you're welcome. Thank you so much. All right, so then, as I mentioned, guys, I do want to show you guys some of the different doctors that we have here, one of which is Dr. Abbasi. Here you can see the gorgeous, gorgeous work, right, of Dr. Abbasi in terms of the HD lipo and BBL. However, I'm only showing you the HD lipo here. If you guys want to see the BBLs, you're definitely gonna have to go on Instagram, because that is where you're gonna be able to see all of that, okay? So Red, welcome from Arizona. And which part in Arizona? And Mackenzie is in New Jersey. And Mackenzie is asking where I'm from. I'm from the Caribbean, but we are located in Miami. We have 3 locations here. And most importantly, like I always remind everybody, most importantly, give us the follow first and foremost. If you guys want to check out the before and afters, the BBLs and all of that good stuff, it's over on Instagram. So check out the Instagram as well. Give them a follow over there as well. But most importantly, if you guys want pricing for anything else, because all we're going to discuss today is the pricing for this. So if you guys want pricing for anything else, if you guys want any other information in terms of which doctor you qualify with, etc., leave your details in this little blue box down below, because this is where you guys are going to be able to be in touch with a coordinator. And that little blue box is basically a contact form, and all you leave is your name and your number in order so you can have that free consultation. Yes, free consultation. You don't have to pay to get information, all right? But every single person has a different health history, so I'd prefer for you guys to speak with the coordinator directly, and that way you guys can get the information that's more suited towards you. Now, Mackenzie, nice to have you in here from New Jersey, and Red is in Phoenix, Arizona. So we have a comment in here from Melanite Garnet. Any videos or pictures of someone that's about 280 pounds, because everyone is small. Honestly, the doctor that does the highest BMI here is Dr. Mamaniscus. Dr. Mamaniscus does the highest BMI here of 38. Your BMI is calculated by your height and your weight. So if I were you, first and foremost, if I'd like to get an accurate estimate as to exactly what your BMI is, I'd leave your details, Melanie, in the contact form below, and then a coordinator can get back to you and see if you even qualify for Dr. Mamaniscus. There are external websites where you can check, such as the CDC, but other things need to also be taken into consideration, such as your medical and health history. Hold on, guys, my battery is low. Just give me 1 second. Melanite, don't go anywhere. 1 second. And as soon as you leave your details, then they're going to be able to get back to you, okay? Okay. All right, but they do have different body types. This is the best one that I tried to show you guys, because we can't really show you like bare bottom on here. But this is the best one that I tried to show you guys all the different styles of bodies, right? Some girls are thick, some girls are skinny, some girls are slim thick, some girls are, you know what I mean? Like just regular, normal, right? But like everybody here in this video, in my opinion, has a different body type. If I were you, I'd go to Instagram though, because over on Instagram, you'll be able to gauge a little bit more based on your body type. However, if you don't find that on Instagram, you can also go to avanaplasticsurgery.com, which is both on the link trees, either here on our profile or on Instagram. And then once you're there, you can click on before and after, search by surgeon or by procedure. So for example, if you're interested in a BBL, for example, then you can check out all of the different BBLs by literally all of the different doctors. Or if you're interested in one particular doctor, you can look for one doctor in particular. All right. But like I said, when you head over, you're going to be able to see the dramatic before and afters, okay? So please check that out over on Instagram, because as I mentioned earlier, over there is where you can see a lot more detail. We can't really show you guys too much graphic content over here. But these videos in particular, I find them to be fantastic, because they do show you like exactly what the before and afters look like. Let me actually show you another one from a man. I know, guys, relax, everyone calm down. However, this one you can also see, right? The dramatic before and after. So I'd highly recommend that you guys check that out over on Instagram. Now, this doctor is Dr. Schusterman. I always tell you guys are sleeping on him. But if you go over on avanaplasticsurgery.com and you search by surgeon, this particular surgeon's name is Dr. Schusterman. So please, guys, go ahead and check out the Instagram, because that's where you guys are going to be able to see a lot more content. All right. Does anyone have any questions for me? Has anyone ever seen this procedure before? Because I know we had a couple newbies in here. We had a girly from New Jersey, a girly from Phoenix, Arizona. So Melanite, where are you joining from? And where is everybody else from in the class today? And have you seen a procedure like this before? Hazel is in Massachusetts. Love that for you. And Hazel, when are you coming? Did you book your free consultation already? Ooh, Hazel's daughter did her surgery with Dr. McDaniel. Fantastic. And for those of you guys who don't know, this is Dr. McDaniel's work here. Is this one by Dr. McDaniel as well? Let me see. Yeah. I was just making sure. Hazel is coming in June. I love that for you. There's another girlie, I flirt with her all the time because she reminds me of my Tunisian love of my life. And she comes in here sometimes, and she's in June as well. So shout out for that. Very exciting. Okay, we love to see you guys here. All right, we love to see it. And for those of you guys who have already seen this before, do you guys have any questions as to what this entails? If not, then I will just start going into what you guys should be doing when you book that free consultation. So put an emoji in the chat if you want me to just get into that. But if you do have any questions, I'm opening the floor just in case, because I don't want to blab on and then you guys don't actually get the answers that you need. Okay, so let me know and then I will go into detail. I put too much lemon in my water today. It's a problem ever since I was a child that I don't have control of my facial expressions. I think Botox would be fantastic for that because then I would always just be neutral. But my family lives too long. Anyway, so let's just get into what you guys should be asking, right? So first and foremost, when you guys book your free consultation, you know you can do it virtually. So whether you're in Massachusetts, whether you are in New Jersey, or whether you are in Phoenix, Arizona, you can actually book a free consultation virtually and ask all of the questions your little heart desires. Now, first and foremost, I like to get the difficult things out the way. So I ask about financing right off the bat. There's multiple financing options. However, there are also deals and specials currently going on. So if you guys are interested in checking out those deals and specials, we'll go over that towards the end of the live. But again, if you'd like to see it for yourself and you just kind of want to skip and see it, it's over on Instagram, pinned to the top. They're the 3 pinned posts at the top, okay? So once you guys discuss the difficult things such as financing, pricing for everything, I'd start going into pre-op. So that's when you start discussing your health history and all of that good stuff. Do you have any allergies, this, that, the other, right? And then you start discussing the actual operation. How long will it take? What does it entail? Where will the stitches and sutures be? Will I have drains? All of these are questions that I highly recommend that you guys ask when you're booking your free consultation. Then you start going over your post-op, right? Your post-op conversation is gonna be, you're getting a BBL, right? What do I need? Well, one of the deals that I'll explain towards the end will explain that. But a BBL pillow is something that you're absolutely going to need, right? depending on what your career is. Let's say, for example, you have a job driving a bus. The only reason why I said that is because we actually had a bus driver come in and get a BBL. You're 100% going to have to talk about that, because at the end of the day, if you're going to be sitting on that BBL pillow for long periods of time, you want to mentally prepare for that. A lot of the times as well for post-op, a lot of you guys are going to be flying in. Joanna, thank you so much for sharing the live. A lot of you guys are going to be flying in, right? So when you fly in, what will you want to know? Well, how long will I need to be there? Radiant Soul, welcome. How are you healing? And speaking of healing, guys, Radiant Soul also flew in. She got her surgery here not too long ago. Yesterday, Radiant Soul, I was talking about you in the live because we were talking about getting safely snatched. And I did mention that you were getting your hemoglobin levels to what you needed them to be based on what the doctor required. Not recommended, required. But like I said, you got it up to like what? Like 11 point something, 11.2 or something. And it needed to be out of 12. So they were like, actually, you need to be out of 12. So you have to reschedule your surgery, but you did it last week. So at the end of the day, we want you guys to be safely snatched, right? So at the end of your free consultation, you start going over all of those details. So for example, how long do I need to stay there once I fly in post-op, right? The minimum is 5 days. The sweet spot is always triple S, sweet spot 7 days. 10 days, you have a sugar daddy. You don't have to worry about nothing. You don't have to worry about work, etc., etc. That's perfect. All right. But highly recommend that you guys take that into consideration, because you're going to be a little uncomfortable. Well, not even a little. You're going to be uncomfortable realistically flying back. So just mentally prepare for that as well. But I tend to hear from a lot of the post-op patients that they really and truly love that they felt much better by day 7. By day 5, you're starting to kind of get used to it. So it's kind of becoming normal, right? The uncomfortability of it all. But a lot of people, they try to fly back after 3 days and it's too much on you. Do you know what I mean? Like, is it doable? Sure. But why put yourself through all of that stress when your body already went through all of that stress? So my recommendation is, when you book that free consultation, ask them, how long do you recommend I stay based on what I'm getting done? So for example, if you're doing a mommy makeover, which is a 3-in-1 procedure with top, mid, and bottom, that's whether or not it's a breast augmentation, inclusive of either a breast lift, a breast implant, or both simultaneously. The midriff, in terms of if you're doing a tummy tuck, a hourglass tummy tuck, or a lipo 360, whatever the case may be, ab etching, or inclusive of a BBL or anything of the sort, right? So if the mommy makeover is something that you'd like to do, then obviously you're gonna want to try to stay for 7 days minimum, right? Like, that's a no-brainer. If you're getting a BBL, okay, maybe the 5. All right. So Radiant Soul says day 5, she's up and helping her husband make breakfast. So I'm not just talking just to talk. I'm literally telling you guys, because I've spoken to a lot of you guys here in person, and so I learned firsthand, right? And yes, by day 5, you're starting to get used to the uncomfortability of it all. But by day 3, you're still kind of, do you know what I mean? So it's not the ideal time to fly, because it's still quite uncomfortable. But by day 5, you're good to go. So I'm happy to hear that you're up and you're making breakfast with your husband. How cute. And also, by the way, Radiant Soul, if you want to check out actually check out how you should feed your fat transfer, we just launched a video yesterday with Dr. Mamaniscus. So please go ahead and check that out. All right, it's over here on our profile. It's the one that we put yesterday. And I think the video is how to feed your fat transfer. And that's just to ensure that your BBL results are okay. Yeah, it's on our profile, Radiant Soul. So definitely check that out. He goes into detail. We also break it down. It's not on IG. It's here on TikTok. But at some point, they do put it on IG. I don't think as soon as we post it here, they put it directly over there, because then it's just too synchronized. So they schedule it out, but definitely check it out here because it breaks it down like avocado, like everything. If you want, I can read it out to you here, but then obviously you can save it when you go on our profile. I have it here written down. Let me actually just pull it up and then I can go over it with everyone as well, because I actually have it in detail. So first and foremost, the first one was avocados. I didn't actually like write out every single reason as to why, because all you guys really need is the list, right? So Radiant Soul said yes, please, and she'll also check it out on the profile. Yeah, just save it when you're on the profile, but for the most part, it's avocados because of the healthy fats for cell stability. It's salmon for the omega-3s for inflammation and healing. It's eggs for protein and cell repair. And sweet potatoes for the carbs, for the energy and tissue regrowth. And then it's Greek yogurt. They also put / cottage cheese, but personally, I don't know anybody that eats cottage cheese. So I just put Greek yogurt because who doesn't like yogurt, right? So Greek yogurt, and that's for protein and probiotics. So those were the 5 to help support and basically like keep the fat, like fat. Does that make sense? Like it just feeds the fat. So those were the 5, and those were the reasons as to why. Other than that, one of the things that they also mentioned was don't do aggressive cardio too soon, don't skip meals, and having not enough protein or healthy fats is not obviously going to be good for you. Don't not wear your faja properly, right? And instead, gentle movement, nutrition focus, and a lot of follow-up care. Follow-up care inclusive of your massages. So Radiant Soul, hopefully, you maintain the results, okay, by following all of these steps. But like I said, it's on our profile, so just save it there. Just so that when you go to the grocery store, because I remember we spoke a lot about foods, especially when you were trying to get your hemoglobin levels up. Just ensure that you're good to go in terms of saving that, so that when you go to the grocery store or anything, you're good to go. Okay, you have that list right away. Okay. All right, guys, so another thing that I want to do, another thing that I would love to do is to give the Instagram a nice little stocky stock. All right. So first and foremost, there is a package going on, everything you need after your BBL. So we just spoke about how to feed your fat in order to maintain your BBL results. But now we're going to start discussing everything you need after your BBL. So for only $480, you get one body shaper garment, one BBL pillow, one front board, one pair of anti-embolism socks, 3 massage sessions, and 3 lipo foams. Then you have a lipo 360 and BBL for just under 3.3. And then a BBL and breast aug deal as well with saline implants by Dr. McDaniel. All right, so definitely take full advantage of that. Laura's makeup looks so cute. She's getting better and better. Anyway, and then there's a mommy makeover by Dr. Mamaniskis that I'd highly recommend you guys check out. Okay. And that was what I was discussing with you guys earlier. That's the 3-in-1 surgery in terms of 3 procedures in one session. And usually people do their breast augmentation, they do some type of stomach procedure, whether that's a tummy tuck, whether that's lipo 360. And then most of the time they do a BBL, but sometimes they do like thigh lift or something. But just to note, just to keep that into consideration, you won't be able to do the BBL and the thigh lift at the same time because it's just extraordinarily painful for your recovery. And most of the time when you do your BBL, you're actually going to be sitting on your thighs when you sit down. You won't actually be sitting on your butt. So if you do a thigh lift with the BBL, you literally won't be able to sit down. So that's why they don't do it. So that's why whenever you are doing the mommy makeover and you're deciding what you want to do in terms of the bottom area, either they choose to do a thigh lift or they go with a BBL. But most of the time they go with the BBL, okay? Because once you get that lipo 360 in particular, like it's just a waste of fat to kind of just throw that away, right? So then there's also another combo procedure by Dr. Abbasi. For those of you guys who don't remember, this was Dr. Abbasi's work, and she has a nice combo procedure on here. Let's see. It's very good. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on. So, for those of you guys who may not know, there's also a new addition to the Avana family, which is called Avana Smile Design. So, for those of you guys who don't know, you should check it out, okay? It looks amazing. Porcelain veneers, very pretty. It looks super real, honestly. And then there's also one by Dr. McDaniel, which is the one that I had on earlier. That one is absolutely stunning. But if you guys want to see that one with the BBL, you're going to have to look at it over on Instagram. You're not going to be able to find that type of content here. But this with the BBL is posted 18 hours ago over on Instagram, so definitely check that out. All right, then we have a BBL by Dr. Hamamjin. Okay, I like how they showed what it looks like from the front, so definitely check that out. For the most part, if you guys want to see all of the different BBLs, like I said, either you check that out directly on Instagram, or if you visit avanaplasticsurgery.com, you can click on the before and afters and by procedure. And then once you select BBL, it will show you all of the different BBLs by all of the different surgeons here. Now, there's over 10 surgeons here, so I'd recommend you guys do it in that way, okay? And then... oh, I also wanted to show you guys this one. Where is it? By Dr. Abbasi as well, because sometimes I do want you guys to see how the HD lipo really and truly looks like on like lighter skin, so that you guys can see it gives you a like sculpted look, you know, like those Roman statues. That's what it's giving, okay? Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for getting our likes up as well. That definitely helps us. Also, if you'd like to share this with someone, Joey, thank you so much for the heart and the. If you guys would like to share this live with someone who may be interested, that also helps the live, okay? Guys, do we have any questions? All right, so guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. What did we learn? We learned a little bit about everything today. All right, so we spoke about HD lipo. I showed you guys the difference between lipo 360 and lipo 360 with ab etching, HD lipo in particular. I went over with you guys the combo procedures, what you should be discussing when you have your free consultations. As per usual, whenever you guys see me on live, you can always leave your details in the little blue box down below. However, when I'm not in the live, you guys can actually send your information over, but please leave your name and your number when you DM us in order for us to be able to contact you back, because we can't call you from your username in order to set up an appointment. That way you are free to speak easily with a coordinator and ask all of the relevant questions. Now, for the most part, guys, I am looking forward to seeing you guys on my next live. If you wanted to also check out that video that I was discussing with Radiant Soul in order to feed your fat and to keep your fat transfer fat, right? To keep your fatty fat, go ahead and check out that video, save that video. It's the last one that I posted with Dr. Mamaniscus. If you guys would also like to know additional information as to what lipo is inclusive of a J plasma in comparison to a tummy tuck. That's also on our profile, and it's in highlighter yellow, so you'll be able to either see it here or on Instagram. Go to Instagram to check out all of the BBLs, all of the before and afters. If you'd like to search by surgeon or procedure, avanaplasticsurgery.com. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on